In a world full of podcasts, you have choices. Make yours count. Don't miss out. Tech Pop Boom. Hello and welcome to Tech Pop Boom with your hosts, Scott and Brandon. I'm Scott.
And I'm Brandon.
Today we're going to talk about some TV shows, possibly some movies. We're going to talk about, Brandon has a few technology articles he's going to read and give you his 2 cents on. This is basically just a podcast, it's a conversation between Brandon and I. Whatever pops in our heads is what we talk about, but we pretty much just concentrate on TV and technology and movies and music. But before we get the show going, I'll start off the show and I'll ask Brandon about his week, and we'll start the show from there. But before we get there, I would just like to publicly thank Brandon because he actually he gave me his Chromecast because he bought a new one. Brandon bought a new Chromecast and he gave me his old Chromecast. So I would like to publicly thank you for giving me your old Chromecast. And if throughout this episode, if I get distracted, the reason why is because I'm trying to set it up as I'm talking to you right now. And I'm overwhelmed because this thing is so absolutely cool. I mean, so far, I haven't done anything with it, but so far, I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
So, that being said, Brandon, thank you sincerely. I really like it. I appreciate it. And tell me about your week, buddy.
Okay, well, my week. I just want to start by saying that, remember the last episode where I said, I didn't like Jane the Virgin? Do you know what I did accidentally?
What did you do accidentally?
I hit episode 2.
What's that mean?
I watched episode 2. Then I started to like it.
You clicked when you shouldn't have clicked.
I should have clicked. You know how it says, hey, you've watched this episode on Netflix, you want to watch the next one. Well, I watched the next. I clicked accidentally on my Chromecast because I was going for Dark Matter, and I accidentally clicked episode 2, and I just said, what the hell, I'll watch episode 2. Okay, so I take back what I said in the last episode that I didn't like it. I'm starting to like it now.
I've never watched it, so I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to rip on you. I know my wife, I think she watches it. I'm not sure, though.
I know it's a girl show. I know it's a girl show.
I don't know. What is it about?
Oh, it's about, this girl who accidentally gets, inseminated with another guy's kid, and so now, but she's never had sex before.
How does she accidentally get inseminated?
That's the first episode. She was going for a pap smear, and the doctor had somebody else who was trying to get inseminate, with a kid in the next room, and she switched it.
Okay.
Yes. And so there's a whole bunch of layers, which I'm just not going to get into. You probably want to just watch it. But you just want to watch it, just the first episode, because it gets confusing, and then it's all explained by the second episode. It's like, oh, okay, and the third one, and the fourth one, and then I just like how it's done, entirely. It's just how it's done. Before I was like, oh, there's way too many layers, I'm done. No, this is like perfect now. Now I get the story. Now it's like, okay. So I've watched that, but I also have watched Dark Matter. Another one.
I think you mentioned Dark Matter before, but I don't remember Dark Matter. Tell me about that one.
Dark Matter is about these people who are on this ship that their memories are erased. So they're trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing out in space.
And is this on the Sci-Fi Channel?
No, it's on Netflix. Oh, I think it's on the Sci-Fi. Yeah, it's on the Sci-Fi Channel if you wanted to watch it, but it is on Netflix. That's how I'm watching it.
Crazy.
So that's what I'm in my week. I also got another Chromecast. Scott told you.
Let's talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
While we're on the subject, let's get. Well, you know what? What do you want to do? You want to do Chromecast?
You know what? Let's do the Chromecast since you're looking at it probably right now.
I am. Yeah. So I've literally had this thing working maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I don't know much about it. But right now I'm looking at my TV. The Chromecast is hooked up, and I have this really cool screensaver on, and it's got the time, and it's got the weather, and it's got little news, and it's really cool. I haven't done a thing with it. I haven't cast anything, but just looking at it, it's visually really sweet. I'm curious what the difference is between the one I have and the one you have. Can you tell me the differences between the two?
Here's the difference. Okay. Mine is a lot clearer. I'm looking at it right now. Before, I had a lot of digital noise in the old one, the one you got. And this one, when I noticed, the minute I plugged it in and turned it on, I noticed that it is a lot clearer. Okay, that digital noise is not there anymore. It is louder. Before, I had to go to like 20 on my like a volume scale, 21, 22 to like hear it. You know, like kind of, you know, that was my normal volume. Now I'm at like 13, 10. That's the normal volume. It is crisper. The sound is a lot crisper than the one you have. I can definitely. It's somehow they updated that. I also like the fact that there is a little circle thing in the back, but here's where my downfall is about this and what I don't like. And I don't know if it's the one I got. I don't know if I gotta change the something in my Chromecast, but the one that you have, okay, I was able to plug in my USB on my TV, and I was able to cut off my TV and cut it back on, and no problems. Okay, my Chromecast would just boot up every time that I turned on the TV.
So your Chromecast would work. So you would power up your TV, you'd switch on whatever HDMI port it's on, and it would automatically work.
It would automatically do it even if I was on my DVD player watching TV. It just automatically would. So if I switched it would just be on, but it would boot up anytime, and I could boot it and I could turn it off, and it would turn off my Chromecast. So my own Chromecast would be off. So it would boot up, which it would only take about, I don't know, it would take 10 maybe like 10 seconds. It's 5 seconds now. It is faster, too. I've definitely noticed that. And the Wi-Fi is 10 times better, but I won't go. But here's the bad part. So when I go and I turn it on, okay, and I do it through the USB, somehow the sound does not sync with the picture. I never had that with my old one.
So how do you fix it? That's awful.
Do you know what I had to do? I actually had to plug it in and leave it plugged in the wall. And I don't know why it's doing it. And I spent maybe, I don't know, 2 hours on this, 3 hours, just literally trying to figure out why the old one didn't do this and why my new one is doing this. And I thought it was the Wi-Fi at first. I thought the Wi-Fi, because I have it now on my 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I mean, before I had the 2.5 gigahertz. And your Chromecast only does 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. But mine, everything in my home works on 5 gigahertz. Okay, except for my Chromecast. Now I fixed that problem. Now everything is on the same band. I thought because maybe there's something wrong with my 5 gigahertz band, but it's not. It does it constantly. I mean, it'll be like every time I boot it up and I turn on my TV and I go to, and I thought it was my HBO Go too. It's not that. It's not my YouTube. It works. It does the same thing with no matter what app I use. So it's something wrong with this new. I don't know if it's a software thing. I don't know if it's a bad one. I don't know. I'll leave it plugged in. I don't care. I mean, I'll just leave it plugged in. No biggie about that. Other than that, I like it. It's just the Wi-Fi is the reason I got it. I needed to get on the 5 gigahertz band. And when this came out, I ran for it. That's it. So, plus I got like...
I guess it'll be interesting to see how this one works, how fast this one is. Because I have the Roku actually set up on this TV, and it seems okay, but when for example, when I turn it on, and when I go to click on the Netflix app, it takes a long time for that thing to load. And there's other apps that are similar to that.
Yes, you know what? It does, but I didn't notice it. I mean, before it was this one is faster. My Netflix Insta fast. This one does, that wait is like 10 times, it's like 2 seconds rather than 5 seconds. But I did notice that, but I got used to that when it was doing that. Because it takes a second to go on the internet. Because you know how Chromecast works, right? You know it's not going off your phone. How it is that your phone acts as a beacon for your Chromecast. So it's on your network. So when you click, let's say HBO Go, and you click, I don't know, girls, right? Make fun of you. Okay, let's say you click that, right? What it's doing is it goes out to the internet and it says, "Oh, please download this to this Chromecast." So it's actually the Chromecast is working on your Wi-Fi. It's not the phone going to the Chromecast. It's the Chromecast going on the internet, grabbing the file, and playing it on your TV. That's how it works.
Okay.
And your phone just controls what it does. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, that's how so people think that it's your phone and your Chromecast working. No, your phone only tells the Chromecast where to go. It's the Chromecast going over the internet to grab whatever you need. That's why if you go on your Chrome browser, there will be videos that you can play. That little sign will come up on the side, and you can play it on your TV. And there are like tons. On a website, let's say you don't want to watch it on your computer, you don't want to watch it on your phone, you can click on the video, and you click on that button, and it will go straight to your Chromecast in a second, in a Chrome browser.
So say that again now. If you do what?
Like if you were on your Chrome browser and you wanted to play a video in your browser, and there's a video, there's a little icon I don't know. Can you see your Chromecast TV from where you're sitting?
Yeah.
It's that icon that's next to your name, whatever you named it. That little TV with the little 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I see that icon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That icon will come up next to that video, and you can click on it, and it will go to your TV if your Chromecast is on.
I have a question. As far as I thought with Chromecast, you were able to stream or mirror whatever is on Google Chrome, or not Google, the Chrome. What do you call that? The Chrome browser.
Yeah.
But I'm in Chrome, and I don't see that little logo anywhere.
Actually, so you're in Chrome, right?
Yeah.
See, no, you know what? You want to go into the Chromecast app.
Okay.
And it is going to be. Let me pull out my phone here for a second. Okay. It is going to be off on the side. I don't know how Apple hopefully Apple has that, but it'll be like right on the side. Let me put it up right now here for a second. Okay. You see those little lines on your search? Those two lines? Okay, click on that. See how it says, home, and it says cast?
Learn. Yep.
Learn. Okay, do you see
settings?
Okay, do you see cast audio and video?
No.
Oh,
I have home, learn, help, and settings. And then settings.
Okay, maybe
Chromecast with my backdrop.
Maybe Apple doesn't let you do that. Ooh. Oh, okay. Because mine I have if you go to mine on an Android phone, it has cast screen and audio. And I can click on that, and then I can go and I can stream whatever's on my phone.
Well, I'm sure this isn't very interesting for
people
listening.
People are listening.
I'll go back and I'll play with it when I have time.
Okay. I like the new one. I'd say go buy the new one. Don't buy the old one for $29. It's going to eventually go on sale. And I'm going to buy one for a gift, for somebody who actually really likes my Chromecast. So I'm going to go buy the new one for a gift.
Oh, yeah, nice. So I think I know who it's for.
No, I know. But so basically, I like it. I really, I gotta say, go out and get one but Scott will probably, on the next podcast, hopefully you will, tell everybody what you think about it on iOS, because that is the one thing I know a lot of people ask is, can Chromecast work like on iOS, on an Apple product? So, and I always didn't know because I don't own any Apple.
Well, hopefully by the next podcast I'll be more informed.
Okay.
But I tell you what, for $35, I tell you can't beat this. This is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it does. Yeah, it does. It does everything. I was thinking about getting the Chromecast audio, the one that plugs into speakers, and then you can play music on it. I'm totally
So
thinking
that's
about that.
that. So that's basically what is that for exactly? What does that do? Isn't that
Okay.
just plugs in like your Spotify or Google Play account or something?
Yeah. What that does is like I can get speakers, okay, and I can plug. It's like a little same little Chromecast, little circle hockey puck I call it, and you get an audio rather than an HDMI. It is a female adapter or a male adapter, okay. So you can plug that into any speakers. You can buy, like a stereo system or whatever, and it'll play. You can play. I think it'll play the sound on Google on YouTube. It'll play the Google Play. It'll play Pandora. It'll play any audio like radio. I think radio apps. I could probably look it up right now. It can play all those. So it just works as audio rather than TV, which I wouldn't mind having that in my room. So I'm totally thinking about getting the other one, the audio Chromecast, but I'll wait for it to go on sale for that. So
Yeah, really. Yeah.
yeah, this I had some Best Buy points. That's the reason I got it now.
Okay.
Is because I had like $10. So, and it expired today, which is the 6th, 11/6. So I had to go to Best Buy, and that's what I wanted. So I just went and grabbed it. So I didn't pay 30. I didn't pay 35. I paid like 25 for mine.
So is the this version, the one that you gave me of the Chromecast, is that one still available to buy, or is it only the newer
No,
version available now?
only the new one. They got rid of the old ones because I could. Yeah. But if you did go on the internet, it's banned from Amazon, so you can't buy it on Amazon. But if you were to go like to eBay or something,
Right.
they're sold for $29. So I mean, even if I wanted an old one, I couldn't beat this one with my Best Buy, points that I got. So, it was like 25, and the old one cost 29. Yeah. So. I mean, why not get the new one, and update and get the Wi-Fi and then clearer picture and the better sound and the faster response. Yeah. So, yeah, and I don't have an extra TV, so that was going to sit somewhere in my box. So I might as well have given it to you since you want one.
It is a no-brainer. It's pretty sweet.
It was a no-brainer right there. So, but
awesome.
I like it.
That is the Chromecast. So what other shows have you been watching besides the Dark Matter and the Virgin Chick Show?
You mean Jane the Virgin?
That one, yeah.
That one. Yeah. I also finished Veep.
Veep, that's a great show. Good show.
I was going to tell you I didn't like it, but I kind of liked it. I got to the end and I was like, okay, I can't wait to the next show, the next season. I can see why this one.
It's really, it's a political show.
Yeah.
But it's really funny, and it keeps you. It's a comedy, but it's like it's also I shouldn't say dramatic, but it's just great. It's only a half hour, and it's so well written.
It is well written.
It's great. It's worth watching. It's a very funny show. It's on HBO for anyone who doesn't know. It's on Veep. It's about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She plays the vice president. And it's the people, who work in the White House with her. And it's very funny. It's very well done.
Yeah, it's very well done. But I got a question for you about this show. How can you watch this show and you're not into politics to get the jokes?
I tell you, Brandon, I am not into politics.
Yeah, you don't like politics.
I despise politics. That's why one of the guys that worked with me recommended it to me. I think the first season had ended, and I still had no interest. But the guy I work with, he was the one who turned me on to Game of Thrones when the first season had ended, and I knew nothing about it. He's really good about turning me on to shows that turn out to be great, epic shows. So he recommended this one, and I thought, well, I'm in the past, so I'll take him up for his word. And I watched the first couple of shows, and although it was, it's a show about the vice president, so it's obviously very political, I love comedy. I love to laugh. And it's very funny. It's very well written. And it's not so political to where you can't enjoy it. It's political, but it's political. It's like a funny political show. I don't know.
Yeah, because there
It's
were
funny
some jokes
to me.
I
It's
fell out because they were like a political,
me too. I mean, some of the
jab.
shows, some of the shows are hard to follow, but I don't care. I mean, when it comes to the comedies and stuff, I take my brain out and I just watch it. I don't care if it's something I don't understand. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to laugh. I want to have a good time. And it's worth watching. It's a funny show.
It is a funny show without giving it away. I mean, I wish it does get interesting. For 30 minutes, I was into it. So I cleared out Veep. Like, I think I was almost finished with it with our last podcast. So I just finished it up.
So now that you have finished Veep, what show are you going to move on to now?
Well, I'm on Dark Matter now. I'm still watching. I'm still going through that.
Did you say okay? So you watched Breaking Bad, you watched Veep, you still have Mad Men and Walking Dead to watch.
Yeah. I think you know what I think I might do. I might do Walking Dead. I think I might do
Brandon,
that.
it's
Next.
so good. This current season, which is not on Netflix obviously yet, the first episode had when it was aired, the news was reporting that the numbers were down. The viewership had been down from the previous season. And I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I love the show, and I don't care who's watching it. I like it. I'm going to watch it. But maybe it's the second or the third episode. I won't say it was the second episode. Something major happened.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I don't even know if the numbers have gone up since then, but I'm willing to bet it did because it was all over the internet about this twist, and the show is just so well done, man. It's such a cool show.
Okay.
I watched the first season, and then I started reading it. It's because it's based on a comic book, so I read the comic book, and I'm almost kind of up to date with the comic book. And I love it. I love The Walking Dead. I think if you haven't watched Walking Dead, Brandon, no, if you're not into blood and it's blood and guts because they're zombies, and the only way to get rid of them is if you shoot them in the head, But so if you don't mind the blood and guts, I say watch The Walking Dead.
Don't care about the plug. I just want to hear. I just want to see what the hype is about. That's why I'm watching it. I want to see.
If you can get through the first season isn't very long, Brandon. I think it's only maybe 6 episodes.
Okay.
I believe. If you can get through those first 6 episodes, and if you still like it, then yeah. I mean, I've obviously watched 6 hours of it. You like the show.
Yeah.
But the first episode really pulls you in. The first episode's really cool. Like the pilot the very first episode of Walking Dead. It's almost identical to the comic book too, the way they set it up. But without getting into the whole thing, I don't know why you wouldn't like it, but check it out. You like everything else.
Okay. Is it on the same scale as Breaking Bad? Would you consider it on that scale?
Breaking Bad to me isn't a scale all by itself. That's epic.
That was
Breaking
epic.
Breaking Bad. Man, there's nothing wrong with that show.
No.
It's funny. Anyone who watches Breaking Bad, they always say, if I were to pick one bad episode, and everyone always says the same thing. I'll ask you, if you were to pick one bad episode out of all of Breaking Bad, if you had to pick one,
if I had to
think
pick
of one that was bad, yeah.
Let me see. No, I cannot think of one.
People I talk to always mention the episode about the fly, when Walt tries to kill that fly, when the fly is in that, when they're trying to make the what are the drugs that they're making.
The fly one.
They always mention that because the entire episode is about him killing this fly. But even still, I thought that episode was great, the way it was done. So to me, the Breaking Bad is on a pedestal all by itself.
Yeah, I don't think that episode was bad either. I didn't even consider that one.
That was epic. But Walking Dead, I think, for what it is really cool.
Okay. That's going to be after Dark Matter, because Dark Matter is only like 13 episodes, and I'm on like 3, 4. So, and then
when you
Oh,
get done with Walking Dead, you'll want to check out Mad Men. 'Cause I thought Mad Men was amazing too.
I've seen Matt. See, that's the only one out of all the ones that you've mentioned I've seen.
Hmm.
That's where I kind of stopped because it was the end of the season,
Hmm.
and yeah, my DVR crashed. That's when my DVR is over at my mom's house because I'm a cord cutter. But so she had to get a new one, and I lost all those episodes. And after that, I just basically stopped watching it. So I there's a certain point I can't remember what. I think it's maybe the second season.
Okay.
The far as I got was well, actually I don't. I might have to watch them because I don't even remember what part I stopped at. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to
That's
watch
a good
that
one too.
one next.
Once you know, it's funny, Brandon, because before we started this podcast, I don't know anyone who listened to this podcast at one point, and I don't know if you don't want me talking about this, just tell
No,
me
go
and we can
ahead.
edit it out. Before we started the podcast, you had gone to school for what was it that you went to school
Oh,
for?
I went for film. I went for
You went to film school
yeah.
and you were an editor. That's a story all to itself.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you essentially you went to film school on
Yes.
film to film movies, and you were an editor.
Yeah.
You were an editor for movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my point is you're a movie guy.
Yeah.
Before we started this podcast, you literally watched no TV. Now, at one point, you had lived. I thought, did you live with your parents, or you lived close to your parents?
I live close.
Uh, you live close, so you would go by to your parents' house and you would watch a lot of TV on their TV because I think you said they had direct TV or something. So
Yes.
that was the only time you would watch
Shows.
TV
Yeah. That was because that was
shows.
the only way I could record them.
But it always amazed me for someone who went to film school and was so involved in creating movies and the process of creating movies and editing and stuff. You literally really didn't watch TV at all. I mean,
No.
there were certain shows you would watch. I think you watched Shameless. You watched.
Yes.
You got me into that show about the chick who sold drugs out of her house.
Oh, weeds. Yes. Yes.
Weeds. You got me into Weeds. There's certain shows you liked, but you really, I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, you didn't have cable. I thought that was, I thought that was crazy because I love watching TV, and being that you went to film school, I thought, you would be as obsessed with it as I was.
I didn't even
But
own a TV.
but now, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
for
news
a
to me.
very long
But
time. That's why I would go over to my parents' house was because that's the only way I watched TV. I didn't even, I had an old TV just to watch maybe the news and that was it. That it barely turned on.
But now that we have the podcast, I mean, it's totally. I mean, my God, you watched the entire season of Veep. You watched the entire season of Breaking Bad. You watched every single season of Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah.
Now it's like you're almost as obsessed as I am.
Well, because of this podcast. See, here's funny. It's funny because I do actually. Yeah, if we didn't have this
But
podcast, I would be turned
I
on.
don't. Well, maybe, but I wonder now that you've got a taste of the greatness. I mean, and you got the Chromecast. You didn't even have the Chromecast
No.
before. Maybe it was available, but I wonder if the podcast were to stop, if you would stop watching TV. I think you're invested in it now. If
No,
we
I'm
stopped doing the
invested in it now.
podcast, I think you would. You got a taste of the greatness, and if the podcast stopped tomorrow, I think you would still go for the glory. You'd still
I
really
still
watch
would watch this, yeah, but not as much. I wouldn't power watch as fast as I do, because I do it to get to the next podcast to say, yeah, I like it or whatever. But yeah, because I have this Chromecast and I love it now. So
Yeah, it's really cool.
and I got this TV that I paid, well, not a lot of money for, but I got this TV here. So I mean, I'm not gonna let it sit here. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well. I mean, go and do it. But I never watched, and the reason I never watched shows or movies and after film school is because after that, I kind of, I don't know, maybe I felt a little disgusted by it, by how just it made me because when I see editing stuff. And I see I see where the cuts are. I see the audio. I listen to the score. I see all that, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to think about it. So I kind of just turned myself off of maybe watching shows and TV and stuff, movies. I used to go to movies a lot too. And then just very recently, I said, you know what? Since we started this podcast, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and start watching this. Orange is the New Black is what started me because I really wanted to see that, and I finally got to see it. And I think when I got that, my friend, a friend let me borrow his Netflix account, which then I ended up getting my own Netflix account because I was like, you know what? Forget it. Here, I was worth the $8.99. Forget it. I'll pay it. Because even Doctor Who, I would watch Doctor Who maybe once in a while, and I'd let the seasons fill up on the DVR and continue on. I only watched 3 shows in the past. It was like Weeds. What was it? It was just Weeds. What was it? It was there was one more show, Doctor Who, and
Shameless. You watched Shameless.
Shameless. That was it. Nothing on HBO. That was it. That was all I watched. I didn't even Dexter. Maybe I saw 1 episode. That was it. So that was it. Maybe Star Trek. I watched maybe when Enterprise was out. That was my show until they canceled it. Which
that's a good segue into your another topic you have listed.
Yes, because I cannot wait for this Star Trek to come out in 2017. Now, this is like how you felt about Star Wars is how I felt about this. But the only bad thing is you're going to have to pay. They're going to do it on streaming. I'm willing to pay the streaming fee for this. I'm willing to pay.
That's right. I don't understand. This is available on CBS's paid streaming service.
Yep.
Why? Why would they do that? Why would they make someone
to get people to go buy? They can make people to get the CBS app. It's actually a ingenious move because all your Star Trek people are going to buy the CBS app.
That's a good point. Do they say how much it is?
I think it's, you know what? I have to look that up. I forgot. I think it's like, isn't it like $7.99 or something like that? I never looked it up, but I probably should look it up if I'm going to get the CBS app to get Star Trek.
Well, that's actually a good point. And I think CBS, I think there's quite a lot of content on there that you can
Big
watch.
Bang, all the Big Bangs, which I've never seen a single. Well, okay, I have seen a couple of episodes of Big Bang Theory. I would like to see all of them. That is my other goal, is when they ever come to Netflix or Amazon Prime, I will go through that like crazy. And I know there's 8 seasons to go through, but I will watch every one of those. If I had this paid app, it might be worth it for me. The only reason I don't watch it now is because, well...
Has there been any information on what the new show will be about?
No. Not as of this podcast, but they just said that they're just announcing that they're going to do a Star Trek. It doesn't come out until 2017, so they got a whole year to do it. It might be the end of 2017. We don't know who's going to star in it. We don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to be at the very beginning or at the end, if it's going to be on a space station or not. It's going to be Enterprise.
It's been a long time since they've had a Star Trek series. I'm surprised it's taken this long to do it.
Well, because... I think everyone was at Star Trek fatigue. They had so many Star Trek episodes, and then the movie Nemesis.
Yeah, but even still, though, it's been quite a while.
Yeah. It's been since 2000, I think 2003. I think when Enterprise was the last one, and I feel so disappointed with Enterprise. They should have just let it go to 7. And let it go, but oh well, they didn't do that. So,
seven
seasons. Yeah, they only got to 5, I think. And I wanted them just to do I think it's 5 or 4. But I just wanted them to just get up to 7 because normally all the Star Treks end at 7. Star Trek Next Generation ended at 7. Star Trek Deep Space Nine ended at 7. Star Trek Voyager ended at 7.
I didn't know that.
They all ended 7 seasons. So they didn't do any more past 7. But this one they said, we're going to cancel. They should have just went to just 7 and just did the 2, went to 7, ended it, and then said, okay, we're not doing any more. And then I wouldn't be a hurt fan right now, but I've been hurt for years. So I guess it's been 10 years, about 10, but maybe like more than that, maybe like 13. or 14 years. So I cannot wait for this. I probably will get the money and probably will pay for that. But definitely, I definitely. But I also did see some movies on my Chromecast. I just watched Birdman today on my Chromecast app. Yeah,
I tell you what, I watched Birdman, and dude, I absolutely hated that
hated
movie.
it too.
Did you really? I thought you
I
were telling me
hated
the
it.
opposite.
No.
And you know what makes me mad about that movie? Again, I'm sorry for anyone who liked it. I mean, but I thought it was terrible. So much, in fact, I turned it off. I couldn't watch it.
I watched, yeah.
And I watched a lot of it, but I didn't finish it because I couldn't.
I finished it.
It's boring.
You know what? It got confusing.
Well, I think it's confusing, and the thing that makes me mad is I love Michael Keaton, and I'm glad he got recognized. So that I think that was cool.
Yeah.
But I just wish it. I wish it was for a better, a better movie.
This movie won Movie of the Year too.
And that's what makes me mad about this movie is it's like a movie. It's like it's critically acclaimed, so it doesn't matter what what people, everyday people think. It's what the critics think.
Yeah.
And it's Birdman to me is a waste of time.
I just was like, man, I could have watched another 2 episodes of Dark Matter. But
right, yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't like it. Well, I guess we should tell everybody what it's about. You want to tell them what it's about, or do you remember?
No, I don't. You can. No.
Okay. Well, basically, it's about this Broadway play that's going on, and he struggled to cope with his life as a wasted actor. So that's basically it. In a nutshell. I just told you the movie.
Yeah. Save your money, save the time. It's not good.
But you know what the funny part? Now, going back to the film school editing thing. Do you know there's not a single cut throughout that whole entire movie? You know, it took me 15 minutes to realize that.
I know. Well, that, now I guess that's probably
that is amazing. Well, because here's the thing.
So did they from that entire show, like the entire movie, just like kept going and didn't stop?
Yes, the camera moves. Not a single cut. It does not cut.
Well, that is amazing.
Not one time.
You know what? Now you're making me think. As bad as the story was, I think that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. Let's listen. I'm telling you about how boring and how horrible it is, but I didn't realize that.
Yes, because for the first 15 minutes, something was weird. And editor mind start going, something's not right here. What is this? And I couldn't put my finger on it. Okay, so sitting here watching it going, something's not right. Because usually I can tell when the camera's on the opposite side or where it should not be. Some shows do that, mostly reality shows.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're on the wrong side, so it looks kind of weird. And in my mind kind of goes, oh, wait, something's off. Well, something was off, and I didn't know what it was. But I realized there's no cuts. There's not a single... So how did they... Here's the question. If there's no cuts, how... That means they only had to do it one time. They had to do... How? That's why I'm so amazed by them. I hated the script. I hated the writing. I wish it was something else.
Could have been for a better story.
It would have been for a better story, but I just didn't understand. Whoa, I was like, okay, so with Emma Stone, if Emma Stone didn't mess up, how? It's like, if you mess up, that's a cut. You have to go back and you have to redo it. That's how and cutting is editing stuff here. Cutting is the way to go back to do another scene or whatever, or to switch a scene or how. But if they never cut and that camera just moves everywhere throughout the whole thing, that means the actors had to do it only one time and one time only.
But they probably had to practice it. Go
over and over and over.
Yeah.
Edward Norton's known for getting it right on. So I knew Edward Norton. I saw Edward Norton. I said, okay, they picked the perfect person to do that. But as for everybody else,
like I said earlier in this review, go check out Birdman because it really is a wonderful, fantastic film.
Yeah, right. No, it's just the cuts. Just how it's done is amazing. We already told you what the movie is about. So, okay. But I also saw this other movie. Okay, on my old Chromecast, which now I want to watch.
Which is my new Chromecast.
Which is his new one. Is Focus. Now, it was on HBO Go.
What is it called?
It's called Focus.
What is it called?
It's with Will Smith.
Focus.
Margaret Robbie.
What's that about?
Okay, so that's about a veteran con man who gets sued with a woman, and that he's trying to con people and his whole entire game, and tries to go for the big one-time con.
Okay.
I thought that was amazing. That was an edge of your seat movie, because
really
so
he's a con man. It was that good, really.
It was that good. I mean, because you don't know you don't know if it's a con or not throughout that whole thing. It is like keeping you in. There is not a one dull moment in that whole movie. I can't even think of one. I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. Well, actually, I paused it. But I'm telling you, usually I could go to the bathroom, come back, or whatever, do whatever, and watch it. Yeah. I couldn't get up off the couch because I was dying to know what was going to happen, and if it was a con, or if he was going to get caught, or if she was going to find out, or if this person was going to find out. It's amazing, and the ending is just amazing. I mean, the ending, you just got to see this movie.
Is it a long movie? I mean, it's like over 2 hours.
It's a 2-hour movie. Yeah, it's 1 hour. It's let's see how many minutes it is. It's I think it's like about 1 hour and. No, it's 2 hours, and I think it's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
What is this movie available on? I mean,
it's on HBO Go.
Where'd you watch it?
It's on HBO Go.
Okay. It's funny you say, because I know the movie you're talking about, and there's a lot of times I'll when I'm bored, when I have time to watch a movie, I'll scroll through looking for something, and I don't know what to watch, and I've scrolled past that movie so many times. But now that you said it, next time I see it,
next time click on it,
watch
dude. Yeah. Click on it and tell everybody on this podcast how wonderful it is. Because I'm telling you, I thought it was going to be bad. I just had it. It was going to be running in the background. I thought it was going to be bad. I had it running in the background, and I sat down, and I didn't get up.
Okay. All right. Well, now you got me wanting to watch it. Okay.
So it's Focus, everybody. So it's on HBO Go, or you can go and rent it. I think you can use your free rental on Chromecast if you have it, because one is out there.
Okay.
So let me see. As for that, is really it for all my shows and all my stuff. You have any shows you watched, man?
What have I been watching? I start the week off on Sunday watching The Walking Dead, the current season. There's another show on, I don't know, is it Fox? Last Man on Earth with Will Forte. I love that show. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, what's that about? So Last Man on Earth is about him being the last man on Earth, or what? Is there?
Basically, Will Forte. When the show started off, he was the only man on Earth, and then he slowly starts to meet other people. But it's a comedy. It's almost like The Walking Dead. It's like the world blew up, but it's not. There's no gore. There's no death. It's PG. So there's just maybe 5 or 6 people, and they're just living. And I'm not doing it justice with my description. It's very funny. It's a very funny show, and I'm big on comedy. So it's on. I think it's on Fox. It's called Last Man on Earth. I like that one. And then Walking Dead. I watched that. And then on Monday, I have to say one of my favorite shows right now, other than Walking Dead, is Fargo. I love Fargo. Oh my God, that show is. I tell you, you mentioned we talked earlier about Breaking Bad being on a pedestal. I don't know if I put it up there along with Breaking Bad, but it's shooting towards the top of that. It's really, especially this season. I'm really liking this season a lot. It's really, really good. It has nothing to do with the movie other than its name. I got Fargo. Also, I watched Fargo. There was another show I wanted to watch, American Horror Story, and I watched the first episode, and it was okay. And then I watched the second episode, and I couldn't believe how horrible it was. And I don't mean horrible in the fact that it was just, it's a horror show, but I don't like violence for the sake of just violence. There's scenes in the show where these people they'd get shot in the head. It was just brutal, and they would, these innocent people. And I realize it's a show; it's not real. but they would get stabbed and shot, and it was brutal for the sake of being brutal, and it was just
So they went too far, basically.
That's exactly right, Brandon.
With
They
the
went too
gore.
far. Maybe if I were to continue watching, if I decide to continue watching, there'll be a reason for the extreme lengths they went to. But I got to say, I'm really turned off by it. I'm not really wanting to watch. I'm really not wanting to finish it. And Lady Gaga's in this current season, and I'm not really liking her. I think she's she's not a very good actress. So I'm not watching that one right now because it kind of turned me off. And I'm trying to think what else I watch. You know what? I read something about the Muppet show, the Muppets. They have the TV show, The Muppets on ABC.
Okay.
Remember you and I talked about that?
Yeah.
The Muppets, they have a TV show on TV right now, and I think they've only had just a few episodes out. And I think apparently the people at ABC were expecting, a lot more attention than the show's getting. And I don't know the story behind it, but apparently they got rid of the showrunner for the Muppets.
What?
And they're going so the show right now is in hiatus, and it's going to continue at some point. I think they said the spring or at some point. So right now it kind of stopped, and they're going to retool the show and make it more appealing for audiences somehow. So yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. It's a Muppet show. To me, it was really geared more towards adults, which I thought was kind of odd. I thought there should have been geared more towards kids, but it's a primetime show. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is on that one, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
Interesting, because I if it come on Netflix or Amazon Prime, I was gonna watch it. And see what it's all about.
It hasn't even finished the season.
Yeah, it hasn't even finished
I don't know if it make it that far.
Yeah. Well, forget that.
Yep.
Oh, you were telling me about. I was gonna say you were telling me about these new Amazon Prime shows.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I know absolutely nothing about I got an email when I was at work. I was checking my email,
which I didn't get.
And it's you don't even have to wait for the email. Just go to Amazon Prime. I think it's once a year. They have their pilot season where they'll bring out a certain amount of shows. It's the only one episode, the pilot episode, and you watch it. And you rate it. You give your critique and how what you like and what you don't like. And the shows that get the best reviews and the best feedback go into full seasons. Now there was another show in the past, the show about the guy who dresses in drag. What's that show called?
What is that called? I can't think of it.
Well, the guy, I don't remember the name of the show, but that went on to win a bunch of awards. That's an Amazon original show. Man in the High Castle, that was last year. That's going into full season at the end of the month. We talked about Red Oaks. That was last season.
Yeah. Which surprised us.
So right now, I don't know how. It looks like there's quite a few shows. And I haven't even read any descriptions. I couldn't tell you one thing about any of the shows, other than I saw they mentioned a few names. They mentioned Shaquille O'Neal. They mentioned Flea, which is the bass player of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they mentioned the guy from the Borat movie. What's that actor's name? I don't know. I forgot the guy's name. They mentioned his, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
They mentioned his name. Now, what any of these people have to do with any of the shows, I couldn't tell you. I just remember seeing those people's names pop up. So what I'd like to do, Brandon, is if we have time, maybe we could watch some of these shows, and maybe if not the next episode, but in a future episode, we can sit down like we did last time.
Do an Amazon Amazon show.
Right. Okay. Right. And we'll talk about these shows, and we'll give our critique.
We definitely will have to do that because I think that's probably one of our most hit shows that most listened to shows.
Well, that's cool. Good.
Is
awesome.
The Amazon
Sweet.
one, yeah, and the Netflix one was too. But I have to because I didn't get the email. So if Scott had not told me, I never would have known there was new shows. So maybe I'll get it today.
Well,
maybe
you would have. I mean, you don't have to wait for the email. You just log into the Amazon Prime app, and they're all right there.
Yeah, I got it.
They're on the main page. you'll see it'll say Amazon pilot season, whatever, and then you just add them to your watch list, and and then there's a lot of adult shows, but there's also a lot of kid shows, a lot of cartoons, which I like for my son. My son loves this. The only thing bad about that, though, is a lot of these shows don't make it, and sometimes my son will watch a cartoon and he'll love it, and he'll want to watch more. And even if they do get to be full season, you're still going to wait a whole year for this stuff. There's a cartoon that they showed last year, and I'm still waiting on this damn thing. He loved that show. I finally had to just stop turning it on because he wanted to continue watching more. It's only a 20-minute cartoon, but here it is a year later, and it still hasn't come out. So I tell you what, these people need to get off their butts, and I'm sure they are, but it's aggravating.
I know it takes time. I know it takes time to do a really good show. I know Man in High Castle probably took I guarantee you they were probably rushing that. Literally a year. Literally,
they're one of the first ones. They're one of the first ones to release their show.
Yeah, they were one of the first ones. I know it took a long time, but man, did you see the second? Oh, of course you saw the second one, but man, I saw the second one, and
it was good.
I'm like, you know what? I wish I hadn't, because now I want to see the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one, and the sixth one.
There's a lot of shows coming out. Like I said, we talked in the last episode. There's a lot of shows coming out on Netflix.
Yeah,
Jenny Jones, that looks amazing.
Yeah,
there's a new. Anyways, there's a lot of cool shows on Netflix. Original programs from Netflix are coming out. A lot of cool ones on Amazon. So it's a good time if you're a TV watcher. It's a good time for TV.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start watching them, and we'll probably do it by the next show. We'll tell you guys which ones and what we hate and what's not worth them making, and maybe we'll find another Man in a High Castle, because then the next one I think Man in High Castle will be out.
Well, yeah, Man in the High Castle starts on the 20th of November, which is the same day that I think it's the Jenny Jones, that Marvel show on Netflix. Is it called Jenny Jones? I don't know, but there's a superhero show on Netflix that starts the same day as Man in the High Castle, and that'll be overwhelming to watch two awesome shows. So it'll be a busy week, but
it'll probably be a busy week and a busy podcast. I probably won't have much tech news that week, just because I know we'll be talking about shows. You never know. Unless something interesting happens in tech, then definitely, maybe they'll come up with that quantum computer that they still haven't done. But but that's
well. Before we go into our next subject, let's talk a little bit about how people can support the show. Anyone listening to the show, and if you've gotten this far. If you haven't done so already, please go to our website, which is www.techpopboom. That's TECHPOPBOOM.com. Once you go to our website, we'll have links to YouTube, iTunes, Google Plus, and what am I missing?
YouTube, Google Plus, iTunes,
Facebook, and our Facebook page. Our Facebook page. So once you go to our website, you have direct access to all those. The Facebook page is the best way to get a hold of us. You go to Facebook, like our page, and we'll keep you updated on whatever tech, TV, movie news, and that's the best way to get a hold of us.
Yeah, Facebook.
Through our website, if you want to send us an email, we have email links on there. We have show notes from every single show is available on there. You'll want to go to iTunes. Click on the iTunes link.
Yep.
And subscribe to our show. Once you hit the subscribe button, anytime we record a new episode, which is typically every 2 weeks, it'll pop up into your device, and you can listen to it and delete it when you're done, and the next one will just pop in automatically. So, again, go to our website, techpopboom.com. The links are at the top of the page. Click away, and please support the show. Hit the subscribe button, and YouTube and iTunes, and we hope you enjoy what you hear.
Okay, well, here's my tech news part. First, I want to start off by saying that Google will decide to do podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
No, I didn't forget about it. I was just going to do it now.
Yeah.
Yes. So Google
Which
Play.
Which means that... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I was just going to say that Google Play has decided... Not Amazon, but Google, Android or Google, or because of course they also do the Chromebook too, has decided to take Apple on doing podcast, and they are right now asking podcasters to submit their shows for their launch, which it hasn't happened yet, which it might be at the end of this month. They don't know yet. Some people say it might be next week. But I don't. I think what they're doing is they're waiting for more podcasts because they don't want to launch with like 5 podcasts and everything else. So, what were you going to say, Scott?
Well, I was just going to say, when it's released, will also be available on that platform as well.
Yes, we will be.
Pop Boom. We've already been approved to be on the Google podcast. Yeah, Google Play. But I had heard, I listened to a couple other podcasts, and they were talking about this Google Play podcast thing. And these particular podcasts that I listened to, they play a lot of music. And they were saying that they were not approved because, just like on, it's what's it, copyright?
Yeah.
They don't want, so they were saying that a lot of these music related podcasts won't be available. So they were saying a lot of the podcasts on Google Play will probably be more tech-oriented, news-oriented type podcasts. So it'll be very interesting to see what winds up on there and what doesn't.
Which is interesting because they want to reach a market that, okay, you guys on the iPhones have always had a podcast app. The only way to listen to us on Android, which is to put in our feed.
You have to copy a link. Our link. You have to type in a link.
Which is on our Facebook page, and you could do our YouTube if you would like. I like the YouTube way better, but it is in the about. I do actually have the feed for us, but you could iTunes, and some apps will let you search the iTunes feed. They pimp. I call it pimping. They pimp off the iTunes feed. And so you can type Tech Pop Boom, and it does come up in your app. But they're going for a market on Android because if you don't have an iPod, or you never had an iPhone or anything, you really have never been subjected to podcasts. I mean, you've never had a podcast, you've never seen one, and most people don't download the app because they don't know what one is. So they're going after the people that necessarily don't listen to podcasts. And that's a pretty cool thing because I thought about it and I'm like, you're right. On Android, that is what's what's lacking. I always liked the podcast app on Apple. That was the one thing, and there's not many things I miss, but that is the one thing I miss is the podcast app.
I actually don't even use that app. I use a different one called Downcast.
Okay. I think we might have. I think we might have that on Google. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen it, but we have an app called Podcaster. I think it's called. It's not called Podcaster. But it's an app. It's okay. I mean, it pimps off the iTunes feed, so you can do Tech Pop Boom. You can type in Tech Pop Boom, and it shows up, and it does download your. So I not necessarily don't put that feed out there. You know what it is, because I know that most apps do it. But this is amazing. When I first saw this, okay, they announced it on the October 26th. I think it was October 26th. I posted our podcast October 27th. That was how quick I want it. I'm more excited about this than I am about the iTunes one. So, sorry, God.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that turns out. I
literally cannot wait because it's like now I know how you felt about when we went on iTunes. This is like a dream because I've always said Android needed to do at least a podcast thing on Play. They always needed to do that, and I am just so happy. So yes, we will be on. We'll probably be in the tech part of Tech Pop Boom. I was thinking about moving it to the entertainment part. What do you think? You think we should be? You think we're an entertainment podcast or a? I was thinking about it Because what do you think?
I mean, it's
Because we're like kind of like just a podcast, but there's no
I would,
category for just a podcast.
yeah. Well, start off with entertainment and see if we get any bites, and if not, then switch it to the other one, to tech.
Okay, we'll do because we do streaming and all that other stuff. But I mean, it's right now it's tech. So I mean, in the iTunes feed, if you searched under tech, we're there. But I just thought about
Yeah.
that. But I thought that was pretty cool. I also about the emoticons that I was mad about in the last episode. Android has decided to do them. That is pretty okay, but we don't know when we'll get them. So I can't give Scott the middle finger. So I guess I'll have to go and give it to him.
You're talking about the emojis.
Yes, the emojis.
Yeah.
So I'll have to give you the middle finger in person.
Whereas I can give you the finger anytime I want to, because that's officially available on my phone now.
Yes. He could give me the middle finger. Well, actually, I can't see the middle finger because it's a square. So you can't give me the middle finger over because
I can do a screenshot and send it to you that way.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can send. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, you got me there. But yeah, so no middle finger for me until I guess when Google decides to put it in their new software or however they're going to do it, because I don't know how they're going to do it. This is the one thing that is. I mean, I'm like kind of. I don't know, because this is like in order for you to do this, you have to update the software, and they're already launched Marshmallow, so maybe Marshmallow 6.1 maybe. I don't know. Because I'm confused by maybe what they should do. This is since we're on Google Play, and I know they've listened to every single podcast that we did, which I think they did, of course, in order for us to get approved. So maybe they'll listen to this one. Why don't they just make it so separate so they can just, put it in the Google Play Store and people just automatically download emojis, like when the new ones come out, it automatically downloads off the Google Play Store or put it in the keyboard app. Make it in the keyboard app. I don't know. Oh, well. But I don't know. That's what they pay them to do, I guess. But that's just a suggestion. Because I know they have to do the whole... Because Apple does the whole software. But they could do their software updates at any time. I mean, on a whim, anything. They don't have to answer the carriers. And I know Google's in that place where they can't do that. They have to go make a software, then they have to give it to the phone makers, and then the phone makers has to give it to whatever carriers, and the carrier has to prove it, and then it's a whole entire circle of confusion. So, but I do have an article on Tech Pop Boom explaining that about why ISO is superior over Android. Read it?
Wow, look at you! Yeah.
Yeah, I did, because they were basically right, because of all the updates on the instant. If somebody decided to hack all the Android phones, they could, and they couldn't get an update fast enough because they got to go through all this stuff. And Apple can do it in about 30 seconds. They can do it within a day. They can have an update right to your phone in a second because they don't have to deal with the carriers. That's what that article is about. Other than that, that is really it for my tech news. Other than Chrome is going to Chrome OS and Android are going to merge. They said they're not going to get rid of it. They're still dedicated to the Chrome OS, but they're going to merge the two and probably just have one version, a keyboard version, a physical keyboard version, and just a touchscreen version of Android. Just kind of like how Microsoft is doing with Windows 10.
So say again, what's merging now? I missed that part.
Chrome OS and Android. They are going to merge. So, like Chrome OS is like the Chromebooks. They're on the Chromebooks. Android is on the phones. And instead of having two separate softwares, they're separate. The apps don't work on Chrome OS that work on Android. They're trying to work on that. They've been working on that because there are some that do. They port over. Now, instead of porting over, they're just going to replace Chrome OS with Android.
Okay.
Or they're going to merge it, we should say. But a lot of people got a little mad because when you do that, that means a lot of people are not going to buy your Chrome OS because it's going to be obsolete when you say something like that. So they said, no, we're dedicated to it, so we're not going to like totally change it right now. So it's going to be like 2017 is when they're planning on doing it.
Gotcha.
So I hope they do it. I don't know why people are mad about it. I'm cheering them on. Come on, I couldn't do it soon enough because it'd be great to have Android on my HP Chromebook. It would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be right. Yeah, that's
and
so
all
cool.
the apps that were on there, I could have tons of apps. Just right now, Chromebook is great just for surfing the internet, and it does other stuff too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It just don't know why everybody's so mad about it. I'd say do it in 2016. Forget about 2017. Do it right now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
Get on the ball. Yeah. But I know they are. Yeah, so I know that they are. So they got to wait and, get some things going first and make sure people don't stop just all of a sudden buying Chromebooks. So I get that part. But that is it for YouTube Red. I totally forgot about that. I did get YouTube Red, and Google announced it.
Explain what YouTube Red is for
YouTube Red is not a commercial-free version of YouTube. You do not see any commercials at all. Your video just plays. Just like how Netflix,
and how much
Amazon,
is it? How much?
It's $9.99, but it's with the Play Store too. So you get the Play Music, but you also get YouTube Red, and it goes vice versa. If you get YouTube Red,
buy one, you get the other.
Subscription, you get the other one. So it's vice versa. You get both. Mm-hmm. So you're not just getting YouTube Red, you're getting something else. So I already had the Play Music, so I got YouTube Red automatically. So I didn't notice I didn't have commercials because it just all of a sudden just happened until I start watching and start going, I haven't seen a commercials in a while. Huh, interesting. Because it usually interrupts. You got to wait for that 5, 10 seconds or 30 seconds sometimes before your video plays, right? None of that. And I just sit there going, man, I wonder did it change? Yeah, it changed October 20. I think it's October 28th, I think it changed. So I didn't know I had it until I realized there was no commercials.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I like it. For me, it's worth $9.99 because I get music. Any downloads, any music, I can upload.
If Google Play is their version of Spotify.
Yeah,
So if you like that platform to get your music, then obviously commercial free YouTube, that's definitely a bonus.
Yeah, and you get the no commercial free YouTube. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep it. So suggest if you guys have, looking for a music app to go that way because, if you hate commercials like I do and Scott, and definitely he said it in a couple of podcasts ago, he hates them. So So I don't know that's a good deal for you for everyone. So that's but that's it for my tech news. I know I rushed through it or everything, but there's really not much out there. Yeah, there's really not much tech news out there these 2 weeks other than what I just mentioned. So got anything else to add or anything or?
Not really. Music wise, I listened to a podcast called Rock and or Roll, and he had an episode that talked about the band Cheap Trick. And ever since I listened to this podcast, I've been absolutely obsessed with Cheap Trick. So much so that I've been listening to their entire discography. And oh my God, I've always liked Cheap Trick, but for anyone, check out Cheap Trick, man. I mean, listen to even if you're a huge fan, turn this podcast off and put on some Cheap Trick. Man,
are they a movie score band? Are they? Do they do movie scores? No, just okay. Go ahead.
No, Cheap Trick. I don't know if you know who Cheap Trick was, Brandon. No. Cheap Trick has a song called "Surrender." Your mommy's all right. Your daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. I don't know if you know that song or not. I'm not going to sing it because I got a cold. But at any rate, if I'm not talking about anything that people don't already know. Cheap Trick is an awesome band. I'm not really even all that familiar. I still haven't gotten through their entire discography. I was just trying to listen to the albums that I wasn't very familiar with. I was more familiar with the earlier albums. I wasn't so much familiar with the later albums, and that's what I wanted to do. And I love discovering new stuff. And some of the stuff, it's amazing for a band that I love so much, but they have these albums that, man, this is a terrible album, but anyways, there's more good than bad, and it's always fun discovering the hidden gems. So Cheap Trick, man, check out some Cheap Trick. Early, later, middle, check it out, man. Good stuff. Cheap Trick. I've been checking it out on Spotify, but for any rock and roll fans, you already have Cheap Trick. Just break it out and crank it up.
Yeah, yeah. So now these other podcasts that you listen to, they play music
Mm-hmm.
in there. So I think that's why we got approved.
They
Because we don't do the music part. So if we
Yeah,
had
I
did
listen to
it,
a
we'd
lot
have
of.
been screwed.
That's why I don't understand, because there's some podcasts that say they can't play music because of copyright.
Yeah.
But I listen to a plethora of podcasts that play nothing but music. So I don't know how that whole thing works.
See, I learned in film school, and we were talking about copyright, and that it's like certain things. Okay, you can only. I don't know if I'm right or I'm not a lawyer, and but I think it's only 30 seconds you can play. If you go past 1 second past 30 seconds, you're in copyright infringement.
If these
So
guys don't play 30 seconds, they play the entire song.
oh yeah, they're definitely yeah that's definitely because the whole yeah that's that's copyright infringement right there because I couldn't play a
Yeah.
whole song of someone's without paying them. They want their money too. So yeah, like 30 seconds I think we could get away with, but I don't do it only because I just don't want to deal with it because I'm not sure. So I don't want Apple to come and close
Yeah.
their podcast down.
Yep.
Google, so I stay away from that. I
Mm-hmm.
just say you guys can. We put the links, or you can look it up, or and let YouTube do the copyright part.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was actually thinking of actually speaking about podcast, thinking about like doing like a 2.0 version of Tech Pop Boom. And what I mean by that is there's some like things that we've gotten better over the time, over the if you're still listening now, you're probably a fan. If you're not, well, or you just skipped over it. But we've been doing better. So I've kind of like thinking, okay, some things I just like want to make better, in our whole podcast. For example, since we're going to play Android or Google Play, like kind of like I want to go in stereo. Eventually I want to do that because we're in mono right now. Stereo. We already had an introduction, which that's pretty cool. I wanted to redo the website. I'm thinking about redoing the whole entire thing. I've been kind of playing with it. I already redid YouTube. Instead of having the black bars on the side, now you get if you go on the very last one, I redid the picture in the background. So that's pretty cool. But
That's one thing I like to do is get a better picture. That robot's got to go.
yeah, we need to have a new logo. I'm thinking about that too. So I was thinking about like kind of like season 2 of Tech Pop Boom. But
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Just do a select amount of episodes and say, okay, was that season 1? Take a few weeks, maybe a month off or so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that. It's like around maybe like December, around Christmas time, instead of doing that show. Maybe like skip because I work on Tech Pop
Actually,
Boom.
that's not a bad idea, Brandon. Maybe even before Christmas.
Yeah, a little bit
Because
before Christmas.
December will probably be pretty busy, so that's not a bad idea if you want to do it in seasons. We can say this is season 1.
So our last one would be like not the next one, but it would be the next one. The next one would be our last one for this season. So we'll call it because I don't stop doing Tech Pop, but like okay, we do it in 2 weeks. The previous week or whatever weekend we're not doing, I'm actually still working on Tech Pop Boom. It's not that I just don't stop. I still doing stuff. For example, I don't know if you guys noticed on your iTunes feed, all of them are now in order. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There used to be not in order. I figured out how to put it in order again. It took me forever, but I did because I didn't want the Google Play
episode 1
people.
came back on my feed again.
Oh yeah, episode 1 I was checking. Back. Yeah.
Episode 1, it popped up on my feed. I'm like, what the heck's going on with that? Why would episode 1 of all, which is in my opinion the worst one we've ever done? But I'm thinking that's the last thing I want to do is listen to episode 1. But it popped up on my feed.
Yeah. Episode 1 is back. I accidentally deleted that and I said no, I need to put this back because the Google Play people are not gonna know. It's gonna start off episode 2. So, and that kind of tells us what we're all about, what this show's all about. And I thought that was important to have that. I also thought it was important to put it in order, because if you're automatically playing an episode, you're going to be on 3, then go back to 2, then go back to 4, and I didn't like that.
It really doesn't matter. It's not like we have a structure of you have to listen to 2 before you listen to 3. So it doesn't matter what order you listen to, because a lot of times by the time you listen to this, the news that we talked about in the earlier episodes, it's dated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're switching to more entertainment type of stuff. Because,
we're more entertainment. Yeah, in the very beginning we were more tech, but now I think we've kind of bridged between the tech. I think we're more entertainment streaming, but I also have my tech part.
It's both. There's more. It's not just news. It's
it's whatever.
Your opinion. It's your opinion on whatever the news is. I mean, you say what the news is, but you kind of give your 2 cents.
Yeah, I give my 2
how
cents.
How you feel about it.
Yeah, and how, I don't like Apple and blah, blah, blah. That's in the first episode, which I'm very surprised we got approved on Apple for that. I was like, we're totally not, because I totally insult them. But I think because you're Apple fanboy, I think that's why we got approved, because they said, okay, well.
They like me.
I'm a Google fanboy myself, but I know if they've listened to every single one, which I think they have, that I knew we were going to get approved, because. But, especially the one that the Apple Scott's fanboy number 1, because that's totally the opposite, everyone. He wasn't really he was actually totally dissing Apple, and that's why I had to write that as Apple fanboy. So it's the opposite of what it really means. It's kind of play on words, it's called. I think that's what it's called. I was playing with you guys, but other than that, I was thinking about like a 2.0 version, and I didn't know what you thought about it, or fans think about it. You can, Facebook us if you have any ideas for our show for 2.0. Please put a comment and say, hey, we wouldn't mind if we had this, or hey, we just don't like this. I mean, because we're like, I want to redo it, since we've gotten mics. He's got a better mic. Now I know how to actually do a podcast now, because I've done 18 episodes. We're on 18 now. That we're on, this is episode 18. So
we should go to episode 20 and then wrap up a season.
You know what? I thought about that too. We'll do episode 20 and then take a month off or whatever, so I can go back and redo the website, redo all.
Come back and then we'll maybe come back, and as much as I hate to wait till January, but whatever, we'll figure it out. We have 2 more episodes to go anyway. So,
okay. Well, that's all I wanted to say about episode Tech Pop Boom 2.0. So I'll mention more of it probably as the episode, probably on episode 20. So anything want to add to our ending?
That's all I got. Thanks for listening, everybody. Please check out our website, techpopboom.com. Go to the Facebook page, hit subscribe. Go to YouTube, hit subscribe. Go to iTunes, hit subscribe. Look us up, check us out. Enjoy. Thanks for listening,
us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. All that other stuff.
You got it.
Peace, everybody.
Bye, everybody.